My name is Estelle Brink and I'm with Jericho Walls International Prayer Network. We are busy with a series on Watchmen on the Wall. What does it mean to be a watchman? Last time we looked at the life of Nehemiah and how he handled criticism. Today we're going to continue in the study of the book of Nehemiah and how that supports us as watchmen today and how to respond amidst jealousy and spiritual attacks. When we move on to Nehemiah chapter 4, we see that the gate work started and it was now in full swing. And those who were laughing and scolding now had a different response. They became angry. Now this is the next level of resistance, and of course it is related to jealousy. Verse 1 says that when they heard of this and they saw the work continue, they became furious, indignant, and mocked them. They stirred up one another and increased their mocking of the work that was started. What was Nehemiah's response? Very important: prayer. We read in Nehemiah 4 verse 4 that he didn't answer them. He didn't engage them. He didn't explain himself to them. Sometimes we might feel to explain something to someone, but I promise you it will just come out worse. Whatever you say will be used against you even further. People these days love to record you on video and it can be used to incriminate you in a court. So this is my wise advice or counsel. Take the matter to the Lord in prayer. Pour out your heart, your disappointment, your pain. Pour it out before Him. He is the one who has given you the task. He will console your heart. And then secondly, we read in Nehemiah 4 verse 5 and 6 that they continued the work. Do not become discouraged when the work you know the Lord has given you is opposed. In Nehemiah 4 verse 7 and 8, it says that as they continued the work, the adversaries became even more angry. So angry that they did 3 things. Now watch this, because this will help you discern what happens to you. The enemy in unison conspired together against them. We had a situation last year where the enemy really conspired together to bring down a specific church in trying to discredit them in unison. Secondly, they came to physically attack or break down the work. It can happen. I remember a few years ago someone threatened us and it halted the work. We couldn't continue with the work. So that can happen to you as well. And then thirdly, to create confusion. You know, they say things that sound so right, but it's just creating confusion in your team. It says in verse 12 that 10 different times these threats came. And the people came and warned them, trying to make them afraid. Have you experienced that it feels like everyone is standing up against the work? Even threaten you with lawsuits or letters of attorney? All such resistance when it comes for a long time can bring doubt and confusion amongst the members on the team. I pray for grace that you will never have to face any lawsuits. That is no easy thing to handle. And the costs of it wastes unnecessary money that must go for ministry. So pray and be diligent. As watchmen, we have to know how to address these matters. Just on the sideline. Therefore, it is so important to have all your ducks in a row on paper when covering a body before you start a work. Have also like a covering body or a committee or a board of directors, and have all your lawful things in line. Like Nehemiah had the letters of the king, and he just stuck to that work. What did Nehemiah and his team do when this happened? Chapter 4 verse 9 tells us that they did 3 things. Number 1, they corporately took up time in prayer about the matter before the Lord. Secondly, they took special care to make sure the work was safe by setting up a watch And lastly, they continue to work. I think the last one, to continue the work, is the most important one. Don't get sidetracked. Whenever the work you have received from the Lord is under attack like this, self-pity will not help you any little bit. There is only one way to go, and that is to go through with the help of the Lord. Resort to the prayer all the time. Pause for prayer, but not to become discouraged. Do what you can for the work to continue. And pray, 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 pray. Fast. The Holy Spirit will lead you. Do not give in to fear. We read in Nehemiah 4 verse 14 to 23 how he now instructed the watchmen to stand in the midst of adversity, how to position themselves, how to conduct themselves. He himself didn't even take off his clothes except for washing. They gave themselves no rest. It was not an easy time. We read of how he had to deal with the conduct of his own leaders concerning money. They were enriching themselves at the expense of others. He had to sort all of that out in chapter 5. Likewise, it can happen that you find those you trust in the ministry can fall prey to misconduct. As a watchman, you have to deal with all these things. Do not give up. The example we set as watchmen to others is so important. It is our walk of integrity that keeps those working with us have respect and honor for guiding them. Next time we will continue to look deeper into what is needed when facing resistance.